Hello,
Hi,
Katie. Hi.
hi, Sheila. It's really
Hi.
great to see you. It's
Good
been
to
a
see
really long
you.
time. Yeah, so thank you for joining me. I understand that you have some questions for me, and I'm all about answering questions from folks. So, yeah, why don't you go ahead and let me know what you're thinking about?
Well, my husband and I saved up and we bought an electric car and we like it. We love it. It's quiet, it's powerful. We can charge at home and it's good for the air. And um, I think that's the way the country's going. Do you have numbers and an overview of electric cars and the grid in Okanagan County?
Well, I don't have any specific numbers about, exactly how many people own electric cars here. I will tell you that I myself own an electric car. I've had it for almost 3 years now, and I love my car too. It is so fun to drive. On top of all the other benefits. And anecdotally, in my travels around the county, I have seen more and more electric cars myself. Just on the road, going over the loop, going down to Brewster, up and down Highway 97, and up and down Highway 153 here in the Met House. So yeah, they're out there, and I read a lot about them, and I know that there's the trend is that there's going to be more and more. And not only cars, but on the very near horizon, there's supposed to be some pretty powerful pickup trucks with long ranges, ranges in the hundreds of miles. So yeah, the change is coming in the way we move around in our transportation. So um, yeah, I'm excited to see them, and the people I know who have them really, really like them. So what do you think?
Well, I'm in love with my car, and I deep inside me, I really want to help the air also. So there's some of that. But also thinking about electric cars, visitors spend a lot of money in this county, and it seems that we would be smart to have a good charging grid set up here, not only for ourselves, those of us who can get electric cars, but also our visitors.
Yeah, I've looked into that a fair amount, and there is a program several years ago that provided a grant to put a few charging stations in our county. So I know, for example, there's one up in the Oroville area, Tonasket, Omak. There's a couple in the Met How, but there's not a whole lot. Those are public ones. There's some private, like hotels and private businesses have started to install their own charging stations, but none of them are the real high speed, super fast chargers. They're kind of a medium speed charging station. And that can be problematic. I know that our county commissioners were approached last year by several folks who were encouraging them to look into some grants that were available to help pay for a high-speed charging system up and down our main highways here to add several more chargers. And they just decided that they weren't interested in that. And I actually disagree on that issue. I think it would definitely be worth looking into. I believe that grants didn't pay for the entire cost, but they paid for a significant portion. And I think it's a good investment because, as you say, people come here, tourists, that are driving their electric cars, and there's going to be more and more of them. They kind of decide where they're going to go a lot of times based on whether there is convenient charging along the route. And I mean, I know I do that. I've driven my car to Seattle and, lots of places around the state, and I plan my route based on, the intervals of charging. And so we need to be, I think, smart about helping to get as much infrastructure out there as possible. And I also know, what most people who own their cars end up charging them at their homes. And And I think our PUD is actually looking at that. I actually talked to some folks at the PUD a while back, and they are in favor of promoting electric cars because, frankly, they're going to sell more electricity that way. And there's some benefits to that. And once our electric load on our grid gets up to a certain level, that actually will enable us, the way I understand it, to buy cheaper power. So it's sort of counterintuitive, but the more electricity we use, the cheaper it is per kilowatt hour. And so there's just benefits all the way around. And I really think we should be looking at that.
Yeah. And not to mention the air. In me, we need to be taking care of the air, right?
Yeah, air
Especially,
quality. Yes,
yeah.
of course. It's
The
yeah.
fires reminded me so hard of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think people are being way more conscious of all of this stuff and how our lives, all aspects of our lives are intertwined with, what we do on a personal level and our choices, all have an impact on the bigger world. And so, yeah, and like I said, I always, the people that act skeptical, the one thing I like to remind them is, if you have never driven an electric car, it is fun. If you like acceleration,
Yeah.
you will have a great time in an electric car. For
Well,
sure.
and a person like you, I understand you have a background in engineering and, running big systems, which to me is a benefit to have a commissioner, possibly have a commissioner that understands how to run a really big system like that and the balances and what you have to take care of. And
Oh yeah, yeah. Running the engine room of a big ship is a very complex operation. It's very technical. It requires a lot of skills on all different levels. And yeah, I'm really comfortable with that. I love technology, and I love and I understand a lot about how it works. And I also really love the making technology work for us on a very practical level and do things that will help us improve our lives. Thanks for joining me, Sheila. It was really
yes,
great talking to you.
good to see your face.
Same here. Bye-bye.
Bye.